All right, y'all. Let's get into cannabis part 6, I think. Go back and listen to the other ones because you need to get caught up. Why do you need to get caught up? So you can get through this delusional world, because people seem to repeat the world a lot, okay? And if you repeat the world and believe the world, you believe the lie, all right? Because I hear people, when they talk about cannabis, as soon as you mention the word, they immediately discredit everything you say. They immediately discredit everything you stand for. They immediately think you're some type of demon, right? There's a reason why the God of this earth has focused so much hatred on that plant, okay? Because this plant has the ability to open your eyes, okay? However, you got to get past yourself. You got to get past your demons before you can use this plant, okay? Cannabis is the only plant, I don't know if a lot of you know this or have ever heard this, but cannabis is the only drug, is the only plant, the only substance that has to be taught how to be used. You have to be taught how to be high, okay? Because, and the best teacher is yourself, okay? And when your body's getting flooded with these cannabinoids and these terps and these flavonoids, okay? You have deficiencies in your body, which means you have deficiencies in your spirit, okay? Because everything is spiritual fed, right? And these spirits that are controlling your lives and bringing you misery are bringing your thoughts to misery, and you start getting paranoid, and you start wondering about things and focusing on things that you shouldn't necessarily be focusing on, and the negative aspect that you should do, okay? You're focusing on them because you see no light, because you have no spiritual light, because when you get paranoid on it and you start seeing things in the world for how they are, and then you start seeing for yourself of who you are, okay? You don't like it, okay? It's why you get the feelings you do. It's why you run away from it, okay? There's few people who can consume cannabis to where they just do it, they can do it all day long, okay? Now, cannabis intolerance, let's get into this real quick, because people don't understand cannabis intolerance. You don't get a tolerance to smoking cannabis. You get a tolerance to an individual plant, okay? So if you have a different plant every single day you can smoke, or if you have some type of new flower or concentrate or whatever, and people who smoke daily, or growers or breeders or whatever, they know what I'm talking about. But if you have access to something every day that's new, you will get higher than if you just get smoke the same thing for a couple weeks, okay? You will build up a tolerance to each plant, okay? Now, some plants you get a tolerance built up in a few days. Some, if you're lucky, you won't build a tolerance for a few weeks, okay? However, the average, you would build up a tolerance probably in about a week or two, all right? Depending on your chain of the smoking, right? Because these chains help unlock darkness, and they help kindle hell, right? Because you are that's why you got the Amazon Kindle and all these things, folks, okay? I mean, I gotta start trying to stay focused, because all this just streams out all over like a web, right? And that's why I get rabbit trails on here. But the tolerance is a lie, or parts of that is a lie. And then potency, pot has not become more potent. If anything, it's become less potent, okay? Why? Because of all the crap breeding the polyhybrids being crossed with polyhybrids and all this other stuff, okay, that don't need to be crossed. And it's breeders don't knowing what they're doing or whatever, they're actually making cannabis worse, all right? If you talk to people who've been in the industry or the movement for a while, especially ones deadheads and such, the best weed they've ever smoked was back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Why? Because that's when it was. That's when everything was sun-grown in peak ideal conditions, right? If you got that good stuff back then, it didn't. Today's stuff doesn't even compare, right? And I've been in the game and the cannabis life per se since 2000, or since I was 22 or 23. All right, that's when I first consumed cannabis. Well, on my own. Other than that, I tried cannabis one time when I was 19, and up until then, I was deathly afraid of all drugs or whatever. I might have been 20 when I tried it. I tried it first when my best friend from high school, I was a year ahead of him. He graduated a year under, but he went off to college and brought a quarter bag of weed home or whatever, and we went off to Esther's Road in Irving, dead end, and we tried it. I went to Slow Roosevelt concert, which is a heavy metal concert, and I passed out on the couch, right? And then the next time I smoked weed was when I was in hair school. I found out some woman's husband had weed, or they smoked weed or whatever, obviously because it's hair school. And I was in art school and kind of exposed to weed smokers then, but not weed, right? And then after art school, I went to work and then hair school. Anyways, hair school is when I got my first bag of weed on my own, and I smoked it on my own. It's my own decision as an adult because I wanted to try the plant, okay? And ever since I tried it, it filled the gaps in the parts that I needed filled, right? Because just so y'all know, I had a great childhood. My parents, they're still married, 40-ish, whatever years, and I had a great childhood, brother and sister. Everything was hunky-dory, picture perfect, pretty much, right? And I was the baby, and I looked at my brother and sister and learned from their mistakes. And if I saw weed at a party, I left the party. Whatever, right? So, I was always kind of sheltered and scared of that plant. And then all of a sudden, the Lord has my best friend from youth group bring weed back for me to try. And then I pass out to where I really can't experience, and I have to go and experience it on my own, right? So, anyways, folks, weed is not stronger these days, all right? It's been cultivated, however, when they say it's stronger, how are they doing this? Well, they're using their bullshit THC test first. All those tests are bunk. It all determines on where you set the starting point, and if you get the higher results or the lower results. And that's how you can have the state set a limit at 15%. How come they never test anything over 15% when they're growing the same damn strands that test at 35 or 30, right? It's all bullshit marketing scheme, so you buy and sell whatever they're selling you, all right? So you don't grow your own weed and your own good medicine that's free of poisons, because anything that has had a bottle in it is poison weed. It is cancer-causing weed, right? And that's the can't see her weed. It's not the cancer weed, it's the can't see her weed, because the beesus and the Monsanto is dulling down your brain and taking over your foreheads internally through spirits. And these spirits are the ones that are connected to the giants that run the earth, all right? It's just the whole world. It's like giving over to the beast. If you read the Bible, right, there's the elect and the remnant and the tribe or whatever. That's like 7,000 that haven't either need or bowed to Baal, That's 144,000 of the elect, or not of the elect, of the tribes, and then you have the elect as however many, the 4 and 20 elders. I mean, there's not that many people in end times that's actually going to the kingdom, all right? Because most people are going to live with their God on this earth as it becomes the hell on earth, because man has been dumbed down through multiple ways, and the knowledge has been taken from them, and that's how you create hell conditions on earth, okay? So the weed today is the same as it always been, all right? It's just being cultivated a little bit differently, and we still have land races that haven't been touched in millennia. We have land races that haven't been touched in decades. We have land races that haven't been touched in hundreds of years. We have all types of land races that we can go and choose from all over the world, right? The reason why they say it's been changed is because, like in an open field, open pollination, you would have all types of plants, right? But the way that the market works, they want the ones that cause a head change. Why? You want the head change so you can escape this world. You want to escape the world. They say that it stops dreams. It doesn't stop people from dreaming. Sorry, I had my dreams on cannabis. Lord spoke to me just fine. I've dreamt on cannabis just fine. It stops dreams by telling you it kills the American dream, because you start realizing the American dream is a fraud, that we can't be whatever we want. We can only be whatever we want if you got the right connections, if you got the right family, if you got enough money, if you got the right entryway. All this bullshit that is against us, to steal from us, to keep us in hopes, to keep us driving and trying for nonsense in the cities that steal life from you. It's the self-replicating monster that you're going to live in, right? And that's why you're just becoming beasts and animals, because you're being all caged in like an animal in your apartment. You have no yards to piss in. You have no yards to play in anymore. You have no yards for your kids. You don't even like your kids. You have a kid, you send them off to grandma's house starting at 6 months old, and then maybe sooner, and then you send them off to pre-K and daycare and whatever else starting at 2, 3 years old. Why even have the kids, dude? You're not raising them. The government's raising them. I mean, why do you think the world, our world is going to hell in a handbasket? Because no one's raising their children. Because the people don't even care about their children. They don't even care enough about their children to read the damn inserts. They don't even care enough about their children to question the doctor. Hey, I don't want to take my baby out by cutting it out just so you can go on vacation. Are you nuts? I want to be able to try and at least push it out. Dude, y'all are so messed up. I know some of you can hear me, and I'm not talking to you, but the majority of you are all effed in the head, dude. All right? And it's just the way it is. And people didn't like to hear this back in Jesus' day, and they don't like to hear it now. So it's the way it is, folks. All right? And we'll be getting more into more cannabis stuff. And I will do the cannabis and Bible video soon, so y'all can see all the clues. All right? And that might be a two-parter because there's so much to go over. But it's all there. And anyways, folks, we're just kind of now getting started.